Wow. Hold on. Can you hear me now? I think I know what I did. I muted this and played it. Yikes. I see all y'all comments. Can y'all can hear me right now? I'm gonna play the video again. It's from my guy Rated R, Russ. Can y'all can hear this, right?
I would like to formally extend my gratitude for the Russell rate. I don't believe in accepting help.
Here's the deal, Russell. There's no special rate.
With the oak and the eagle as witness.
Yeah. Oh, y'all can hear the audio on the video, correct?
I'm a legend in my hometown. Giant
Shout out to my boy Beans, my homie DJ, my girl Shaquila, representing Bridgeport. Thank y'all for tuning in.
But I put my own path, so I don't have to give a fuck. 10 years ago, they told me my direction wouldn't pay, and I should stop. Cause rapping about wrestling was good, but I ain't listen to them. Never let a hater make you straight, they all gone. But you still here, rated here today. I'ma never fade away. No debating on my place amongst the greats. They gon' turn far rap the rate away. Shit, not really asking if they liking it or not. They gonna have to build a statue of my likeness up on mine. I done fought the occupier, still fighting for the spot. Double R, the giant, but the Titan got it locked with the APA recipe written on the scripture. I done took my time growing up to listen as a picture. All work is like you listening to pictures. Cause the game been sick, so I fixed them on the list. It was written on the list. And Mr. Jericho and Nas, all the words I spit official A, let it know the rise. The competitors say better, you know that it's a lie. Cause he's standing on another man's shoulders. I'm a self-made man in a self-made lane. When self-made beats, they just self-made lane. I'm motivated by this hunger till I earn. Stand tall, I'm a giant, great wonder of the world. Yeah, I'm motivated by this hunger till I earn. Stand tall, I'm a giant, great wonder of the world. Yeah, I'm motivated by this hunger till I earn. Stand tall, I'm a giant, great wonder of the world. Yeah, I do it for my young son and little girl. Stand tall, I'm a giant, great wonder of the world. Yeah, I'm motivated by this hunger till I earn. Stand tall, I'm a giant, great wonder of the world. Yeah.
Let me know. Y'all can hear me right now, right? Because this is weird. Anytime I play a video, I keep on forgetting that I gotta change the settings because for some reason the audio that I play in videos doesn't, for some reason, doesn't show up on there. So I gotta play it through the speakers. I hope y'all can hear me now. Somebody give me. Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, in case y'all haven't noticed, I'm back. I honestly speaking, it feels weird. I haven't been on here in 5 months. I haven't been on here since May. Last time I was on here, I spoke about, this idea about depression not being real. That was the last thing I came on here and I spoke about. And that same day, not that same day, because a few days prior, I went to record an episode of my guy Miggs. He has a podcast, the Corner Boys podcast. I was on here with he and his co-hosts, and that was an awesome show. I was up till like 4:30 in the morning recording that. actually I have to go back and listen to it honestly because like with everything that's been going on, I haven't listened to it yet. And that was my first ever podcast that I've been a guest on. So it was awesome to do. But um things happened to me about a few months ago. But I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that later. In fact, it actually ties into the topic of the show. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate it. If you can get more people to tune in, I would have posted this on Facebook Live, but I can't. So I'm here on Instagram. No. I'm bugging. I'm not even on Instagram Live right now. I have my phone in my lap, like I'm on Instagram Live. But this show is about people who, I guess, bad things happen to them. Bad things like life trauma. They got picked on when they was a child. They got abused by their parents. They got assaulted in every which way. Due to YouTube's community standards, I can't actually say what the word is. So I'm just gonna say mutilated. Um, People get mutilated, and then they take that trauma instead of seeking help for it. They take it out on the next person they meet, they deal with. It's not even just relationships; it's just friendships alike, marriage. Like, people get cheated on. Like I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. People who get cheated on. It's like every relationship they've been in, they get cheated on or done really dirty. So what they do, they go they go and assume that the next person that they're with is gonna do shit. And it's to the point that they don't trust the person that they're with. What they'll do is they'll do like silly shit like, oh, let me see your phone. Or where you at? When the person tells them where they at, oh, you're lying. You at this bitch house. You're at this bitch house. You're not where you say you at. It's all projection because usually when people start to accuse you of stuff, it's usually the person that's doing it. That's the person that's accusing you. The accuser is usually the one that's doing it. In a lot of cases. Well, what's my view on trauma? I mean, every I'm not going to say everybody, but majority of people is going to experience some sort of like life trauma. I know a lot of people who experience some life trauma, whether it be somebody getting mutilated, somebody getting viciously picked on, somebody getting abused by their parents when they was little kids. In fact, um hmm, I actually mentioned something about that, like in regards to bullies and stuff. Remember, bullies are hurt people. Most of the people who bully other people, they've been hurt, but they're not going to show you. They just put on this tough guy act, so you won't look at them as weak. They pretend to be, the strong ones and stuff. They pretend to be the strong ones. They pretend, oh, my heart is made out of rock. Nobody can penetrate it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's usually the ones that get their ass beat at home by their parents, and then they go to school and they take it out on the next person, and it's usually somebody who they deem weaker than them. That's always how it happens. That's an example. That's actually a prime example of hurt people hurting people, hurting other people because they feel hurt because the parents don't love them like they want them to. They don't get the attention from the parents. So what they do, they take it out on the next person. They project their behavior onto the next person. They want to, they want to beat on them because they can't hit their parents back because that's deemed disrespectful. So what do? They go out and beat on another little kid. Usually somebody that's weaker than them. Well, like I said, they deem weaker than them. It's not always the case. They're not always weak. Most of the time they're weak. I'm over here rambling and stuff. But yeah, most cases these people are weak. Like they don't want to. They can't defend themselves. They usually outsize that person, so they know who to fuck with. They're not gonna fuck with somebody their size. In fact, they usually keep those people their same size as allies because they can get them to join in on their bullshit. That's how people end up jumping other people in school and stuff or on the block because they band together. Well, these bullies band together and they go out and beat on somebody else because they can't do it by themselves. And that's sad. I've been bullied myself, so I know exactly how it is. When I was young, I didn't have the gift of gab that I have now. I wish I did. I used to let a lot of things people said to me get to me, but now I don't. I mean, sometimes I have moments where, a weakness where I will show them that, I'm pissed off and upset about it, but everybody has those moments of weaknesses. But for the most part, I don't let them know. I have a poker face anytime I mess with these people, or if anybody says some stupid shit to me, I just let it roll. Because at the end of the day, you ain't gonna unless you're gonna put your hands on me or swing at me, then I ain't gonna go back and forth with you. I mean, I might if I'm high enough. Like sometimes I like to troll people if I know they're trying to fuck with me. So what I'll do is I'll ask silly questions that I already know the answer to. But the fact that I'm asking these questions to them, it just annoys them to the point that they'll get mad and they'll want to swing on me. So that's how I get them. And it's kind of embarrassing too on their part because it's like they don't even know the actual issue that they have with you. They'll never tell you. So that's basically like the that's one component of hurting people, who get bullied and stuff. Now you got victims of domestic violence. Now those are the people that I've dealt with the most as far as like relationships. It's like majority of people that I dated in my dating life. To give you a little bit of my dating background. So yeah. Oh wow, hold on. Yeah, here we go. I had to unplug the mic right quick. It was shortened. But even with my dating experience, majority of the people I dated, has dealt with some trauma and what have you. They either been abused, cheated on, lied to, you name it. They've been through it. So what they do is they project that behavior, or they just have this no idea that, well, I'm gonna see how much I can get out this person, or I'm gonna build this wall, so I'll make it tough for that person to get close to me. Like that's usually how it is with people who've been like cheated on and abused and what have you. They usually build this wall. Like anybody can anybody in the comment section. Have you? I'm gonna ask y'all a question. People who's watching. Um, have you ever been with somebody that built this mental wall? It's like they're trying to make you jump through hoops to prove so you can prove to them that they're trustworthy or that you're loyal. It's what they call a shit test. It's like ask you ask you certain questions that probably doesn't mean anything at face value, but has like a deeper meaning. Well, I'm kind of squinting my eyes, but for some reason, all this is small. Don't know why. Okay, no, I blew it up. Oh man, man. Oh my God, God. Oh my God. A lot of coworkers. Like, you ever been with you ever dealt with coworkers that always comes to work miserable? Like for what? Like they're always pissed off and upset about something. They always come to work with this resting bitch face all the damn time. It's kind of like this girl. I forgot her name, and I won't mention her name on the air. But no, at Old Navy, there's this girl that constantly walks around with a resting bitch face, like somebody pissed in her Cheerios or something. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, can you have lower energy than that? Jesus, oh my God. Yeah, those are people who's, you know, I can say that been through, some traumatic experiences in life because it affects how you treat people. It really does. Like people like that need professional help. Nah, if nah, I ain't talking about you directly. But I know what you mean. It's like, like that's how common it is. Because like, if somebody just say that, I feel like I relate to it too. Honestly, like, appreciate it, bro. I'm actually glad to be back on the show, and I'm trying to like get to the comments, like read your comments right quick. Yeah, when bullies team up together, it is called a gang. Usually, even though most of the people that I've dealt with that's in gangs never really fuck with me like that because they know what type. For the most part, they respected me. Well, the ones that I personally know, like because I stayed in my lane. Because I'm not about that I'm not about that drill life. I'm not about that gangster life. I ain't gangster, but I ain't soft neither. But I ain't gangster, and I can admit that. But you got some people that don't like to stay in their lane, and then they get themselves beat up or shot, or or just stomped out in front of the building. Like, come on. Oh my God, burn shots. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Walking around here like somebody peed on her puppy. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you don't like your job or if you don't like how your life is going, you know what you do? You change it. If you could, you change it. You change it. So that's pretty much the gist of this whole thing, this whole idea about hurt people, hurt other people, and sometimes we don't even do it on purpose. Sometimes we do it unknowingly because of our actions, because whatever behaviors you project. Because I ain't gonna hold you, I didn't handle things in the best way when I was younger. I used to act and do things based on emotion and not even think about it. Like when I had wounds on the show a few months ago, I brought up a time where I found out that my ex was still on the dating website that we both met on, talking to other people, telling them that she was single. So I then found the way to get into her emails and just delete everything, just to be petty. But you think I want to do that right now? Because no, I did that 9 years ago. I did this. Now now it's 9 years later. I was put in either worse situation, which I'm going to speak about in a little bit, but I want to handle that a different way. I'm not trying to do anything stupid. I really not. I'm trying to handle things the most mature way as possible without nobody actually getting hurt. Because karma is a bitch, and people are going to reap what they sow. Yeah, I could talk about that. In fact, later on, y'all can I can bring some of y'all in here. Y'all can tell me your experiences dealing with hurt people. Oh yeah, I was. You know what that is? Well, it's not exactly shots. It's just a truth. That's what she was walking around. She was walking around with a resting bitch face, like somebody peed on a puppy. Like, what are you doing? And then you take that, and it's usually managers that be taking their shit out on people because you know why? Because they have no real person in their life to take the shit out on. So they take they shit out on the people close to them. So that's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. And then I've been I didn't really date this girl, but I was simping out for this girl. This is back in 2010. Devon knows exactly what I'm talking about. The one that says, "Call me now, right now." Yeah, that's what she called. She texted my phone and said that one time because she thought, well, she didn't think anything. Here's the thing with her, with people like that. Um, she thought, well, I was talking to other people because me and her wasn't official. I wanted that to be the case, but she wanted to build this wall. So it's like everything I did, I had a problem with, but she could do whatever she wants. And usually, people who go through doing dumb shit like this are usually people that's been cheated on too. So they think that you're going to do the same thing that the last person did. And that's exactly why people treat other people like garbage. People want to, blame it on the women, like, people in the red pill community, they want to blame everything on women. Women did this, women did that, but men, you got to share the responsibility too. We as men have to share that responsibility because we can get hurt by a female. Let me not say female because that sounds negative because, we're human beings. Us human beings is, we got men, you got women, and that's it. Men, women. So women, they can hurt women or they get hurt by a woman and they get cheated on by this woman, they get railroaded by this woman. You know what they do? They go to the next woman after them, the next girl after them, who didn't do anything and has nothing to do with why that girl did what they did, and they go to that person and they dog them out, they smut them out, they skeet and scat, and then they leave them with a baby that they don't want to take care of. And then that girl is going to go to the next dude and is going to do the same thing that was done to her. And then the next person after that, they're going to go do that to somebody else. It creates a cycle. So people who just say, "Oh, women do this and women do that." No, it's not all. It's not all women that be doing this shit. Some men do this shit too. And if we all stop doing this dumb shit, then it'll be less hurt people in the world today. Like if you just sit there, I mean, if you just like, you know what, it actually reminds me of a friend of mine. I ain't gonna say his name, but people people know what I'm talking about. They watching the show, but he got with this girl, and that girl, I guess, got cheated on or whatever. She didn't get a chance to. Well, I'm sorry, she didn't give her own self a chance to heal, and now she's in a relationship with my boy over here telling tell this man, "Oh, let me see who you be texting. Let me look through your phone. First of all, why are you looking through his phone for? If you don't trust him, then why are you with him?" Like, it's crazy how people want to control the other person to prevent them from doing something. But let me I got news for you. The reason why, and I want to say this right now, and it's not, and I don't condone cheating. I'm gonna let you know that right now. I do not condone cheating. I'll say, if you want to like do mess around, break up with that person, leave them alone. If you want to go fuck with somebody else, I don't condone cheating, but I understand why people cheat. And no, it's not that bullshit that they say on Fresh and Fit, or that some of that dumb shit that Kevin Samuels says. It's not none of that shit. No, I don't subscribe to none of that dumb shit. But here's the reason why people cheat. People, it's not the thing where, women cheat, men have sex. No, that's dumb. That's dumb. But it's like this. Let's say somebody was accusing you of cheating. And I mean, every time you do something, you can go to the movies or whatever, or go out to a bar with your boys. And this is from the perspective of the men, because I'm a man, obviously. Like, I'll be going out with my boys to a bar, and then I go back. Oh, you wait, where you been? I was at the bar with my boys. No, you wasn't. No, you was. You was at the bitch house. You was at the bitch house. But I told you I was at the bar. No, you wasn't. I got a picture. I posted a picture on Instagram. No, you could have posted that picture last week. No, I told you where I was. No, you wasn't. You wasn't there. You wasn't there. Now, imagine hearing that for a whole month. A whole month. Imagine hearing that. What you gonna do? All right, since you think that I'm not cheating, I'm gonna cheat anyway. And also, that's why females cheat too. Sorry. That's why women cheat too. Because you got, insecure guys who, that think that the girl that they're with is cheating on them because they got cheated on in the last relationship. So they over there blowing up the phone. Yo, bitch, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? You at the nigga house? You at the nigga house? You at your ex's house? She could be at home watching Golden Girls or something, or or she has a child at home taking care of the kids. She could be, In fact, I knew a person like that treated their girl like that. No, every time she went out, he'll blow the phone up. He'll blow the phone up. Like every 5 minutes, he'll want to know when you gonna when you coming home. When you coming home? When you coming home? You have to be out there today. When you coming home? Now, ladies, imagine hearing that for a month. What do you think you're gonna do? It's like you don't want to leave the person because you love them, but at the same time, they constantly accusing you of doing this. So after a while, you're gonna end up doing it, being that they're accusing you anyway. It's like, if I tell you the truth, you're not gonna believe me anyway, so may as well do it. So I can see why shit like that drives people to do things like cheat and be dishonest, because you're accusing them constantly of being dishonest. So what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen? Let me read some of these comments. Yeah, yeah. That girl needs help, and he needs to leave her alone forever. Yeah, older coworkers are the ones that are most miserable, because 9 times out of 10, either their husband died, which is in most cases. If she was married, her husband probably passed away. But even still, But then again, like I don't know. Her husband could have passed away, and she's probably still dealing with the grief, so she takes that out on other people. Or for the most part, nobody wants to deal with it because she probably burned bridges. So the only place she could take her anger out on is people that she worked with. So yeah, that's usually how that works. Thank you. That's exactly cheating is cheating no matter who does it. Like I don't. It's like no. For the past few months, I was listening, to a lot of these shows. Like Fresh and Fit was a show that I no listened to in passing. Some of I agree with some of the stuff because I'm not going to say that I agree with like disagree with everything, but for the most part, they were saying some stuff, but most of it was surface level. But when you dig deeper into the stuff that they say, you could tell it's just manipulation. It's like I can do it, but you can't, and it's like they want to control women without even putting a fucking ring on it. Like, if you want to try to control her, at least marry her first. If you want to try to control her, even though I don't condone nobody controlling nobody, but if that's what you want to do it right. I'm not gonna fucking try to control somebody that I'm just in a relationship with. We're not even married. And I feel like that's what a lot of these guys be wanting to do. They want to control the person they're in a relationship with and don't even want to marry them because they want to go out and cheat. They want to go out and get their nut off with somebody else while they sit at home and and do whatever. Probably watch ratchet television or some other dumb shit they probably be doing at home or just play video games because they got some female gamers. I know some personally. Yeah, if you and both parties do it, men and women nag, and that's most of the ones that's been hurt. The ones that are always hurt, the ones that are always getting cheated on and what have you, they're the ones that's always nagging, and nagging leads to people doing that type of shit. I mean, it's not right, but that's just the truth of the matter. Mario. Yeah. When you coming home? When you coming home? I'm coming home when I feel like it. I'm with my friends. Meanwhile, I'm at home. Like this dude is at home watching fights with his boys. But you want your girl to come home and do what? Watch you and your friends watch a fight when she could be, at the bar with her friends. Like let her go out and live life. It's not all about you all the goddamn time. Hey, shout out to my homegirl Susie. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that people go around trying to like boss people around. It's like it shouldn't be a boss. And my advice to people who's going through trauma, who's trying to like jump into another relationship, my advice to you is just take your time to heal. You don't need to be with nobody because you don't want to take that out on nobody. I feel like no, I feel a lot of people on dating apps they do the same. Like you can look at their bios and you can see some stupid shit like "Don't waste my time." Meanwhile, their communication skills below talking about "Don't message me if you're gonna say hi, how you doing, or hey, or what you doing." You have to create small talk to get to the conversation. There's always small talk, no matter what you're dealing with. Even when you go into a store, you be like, "Hi, how are you?" Even though you necessarily don't care about how you're doing, but that's just something that we as human beings say. So it's like your ass is so damn shallow that you want people. First of all, you say that you don't want people to send you dick pics. That's fine. I understand that. Why the fuck would you want somebody to send you a picture of their pecker when you didn't ask for it. So I get that part. But asking people to not say, hi, how are you, or hey, or, speak to you with some sort of respect, that's dumb. Nobody's gonna fuck with you. The only thing you will get is dick pics for like telling people how to communicate. And then you got people saying like, learn how to communicate. Meanwhile, you use one word answers. Even though usually when, chicks or anybody use one word answers for the most part, it just means they're not interested. So why even open their message if you was gonna respond back anyway? And then there's one girl that I saw on one of these dating apps. Um I'm trying to figure. I'm paraphrasing because I forgot what was on there. You know what? I just brought up another story. I'll just bring up another one. I was on POF, and yes, I think I need to get off these dating apps, but now I'm using it for strictly boredom because I'll be bored when I be walking around outside. So I use my idle time to to go on there and see how far I can get. So there's one girl I asked her how she doing. She gonna be like, she's like, I'm fine. I'm just on my way to work. Why? So wait a minute. There's a reason. It has to be a reason why I'm asking you how you doing. I'm just like, you don't think that I'm genuine, or you just have these preconceived notions. He's probably thought that I was in an inbox just to screw her. Dear, if I wanted to screw you, if I wanted to screw you, I'll tell you that I'm gonna that I want you to the link, a sneaky link. If I wanted a sneaky link, I will ask you to arrange the sneaky link. No, I'm trying to get to know you because anybody that you know that doesn't want to just get a nut off wouldn't ask you how you doing and wouldn't bother want to get to know you. They'll just straight up ask you, like, dear, you want a link? And you'll say no, and I'll move on. That's all. So I blocked her. I blocked her because if that's what you present to me on a dating app, I can only imagine what kind of person you are in real life. So nah, I'm good. I'm good. Yes, people need to work on themselves. People really need to work on themselves. POF is plenty of fish. You're right. Dating apps are full of psychos. I mean, I'm not gonna say full of psychos. I'll say about I'll say 80% of the people on there are whack jobs, because I've actually met some people off of dating sites. Some of them I'm actually became friends with because I didn't force anything. I just wanted I just talked to them, and we just end up having a good conversation. And we didn't get to get together or anything like that, but I felt good vibes for them, and they became my friends. Yeah, bots and dots, waste of time. Yeah, a lot of them will be having a lot of these bots, a lot of these fake profiles that want to sell you their sex website. It's just a waste. Just a waste of time. Usually, people like hurt people be on these dating websites for the most part, because you could tell by what they write in their bio. They'll say, "Okay, I have one," and this is my advice to anybody that's watching this or will be watching this later on. If you see somebody post, "I'm not for the weak," run. About face, run. Because if somebody says, "I'm not for the weak," that usually means that they're toxic as fuck. Like, who says that? "I'm not for the weak." What is so? I have to be a strong person to deal with you. Meaning, what mental trauma are you trying to put me through that I gotta be strong in order for me to deal with you. That makes no sense. It's usually these fake ass alpha females that want to be the man in the relationship. They want to be the alpha. They want to be the one to beat their chest. They want to be the one to have control. Oh no, I ain't gonna deal with you, and I don't think any other guy want to deal with you. The only thing you're gonna be getting, for the most part, is just people wanting to skeet and scat, and it's usually the ones that has like 3 or 4 kids with 4 different baby daddies because they get it wrong every time they get with somebody instead of taking their time to heal. Yeah, that, yeah, that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. They switch up. They present something first to get them to warm up to you, and then bam, that's when the real side comes out. It's similar to somebody wearing it's similar to people who wear makeup or whatever, or guys who lie about their age. I heard this is a thing. I heard that guys, like short guys, I'm 5'3" and I don't care, and I have a tough time finding people because of my height. But I'm a very confident person, so that makes up for that. So there's a lot of guys who wear lifts. If you don't know what lifts is some sort of heels that you put inside your shoes to make it appear that you're tall, that you're taller than what you already are. Like if you have to do that, then you need to reevaluate yourself because that's drastic. That's drastic. Yep, that's so drastic, so ratchet too. Like, why would I need lifts to put inside my souls just to impress the girl that I might see for like 5 minutes at a club or a bar or some shit? Nah, I'm good. Sometimes we as men we have to take L's. Like when I went to a boat party with my homegirl Susie and her boyfriend Rodney, he's my guy too, so he's a friend of mine too. Um, after the party, girl kind of approached me, so I asked for a number. We texted for like a few. We texted a few times, but after that Sunday, she never texted me again. I didn't dwell on it. I just forgot about it after a while. The only reason I remember it now is because it just popped up in my head about rejection. Rejection is actually funny when you're high. I'm sorry. That's not a good way to present yourself because that shows, in my opinion, that person has a lot of like toxic qualities. Because it's like it's like if you was to ask her what does that mean, she probably will have a tough time trying to explain that to you because most people can't. Most people can't explain things like that they say. It's just something that sounds good when it rolls off your tongue. But for the most part, it's just toxic people say that shit. Like, come on. But there's no hard feelings though, because I ain't taking it anyway. Because usually, it's like I think about it logically. It was kind of dark. Well, she was drunk, so that's probably why she felt the she was probably loose too. She did ask me where was I going after that, and I said I'm going home because I'm not going to go anywhere because this is what I predicted. If I was to go somewhere with her, where would we be going? We would be going to another spot where she'll be dancing with other guys. So it's like, I'm good. That'll be a complete waste of my time. Yeah, you're right. Rejection does hit everybody differently. At one point, it used to get me, frustrated, but I got used to rejection. It's I'm immune to it now. Sometimes I have moments where I'm disappointed about getting rejected, but at the end of the day, shit happens. Take your L. Yeah, you have to take out. You have to take out L's sometimes. But I appreciate y'all y'all watching. Appreciate the interaction. It actually makes it easier for me because sitting here talking. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking to myself, but I know I'm talking to whoever may listen or watch. But sometimes it, feel like I'm Colin Cowherd sometimes. And shout out to Rated R. Um, his album APA is out. Make sure y'all download that. It's on Spotify and it's on Tidal, and I believe it's on iTunes as well. That was the video that I tried to play in the beginning. I'm probably gonna play it after the show. In fact, I'm gonna take a small break. I'm actually gonna play my guy Nerdy's song. He shot it somewhere in New Jersey. He lives in Linden. He's from Linden, so shout out to him, Nerdy Dirty. After and when I come back, I'm gonna explain to everybody why I've been off the air for 5 months. Now, people who's followed me on Instagram knows exactly what I'm about to get into. And so is the people that's in this comic section because all these people are close to me. For anybody who's watching, everybody in this comic section knows exactly what I'm going to get into, but there's a lot of people that don't. Why I was away for 5 months. People who follow me on Instagram has an idea because I gave them an overview, but 5 months ago I was in court. I had to go to court. I was taken to court. I was accused of some pretty disgusting things. But I'm going to tell you what those are on the other side. It's the William Green experience. That's the experience without the E.
I love you tomorrow. I love you today. Even if I borrow, some love got away. Yeah. I love you tomorrow. I love you today. Even if I borrow, some love got away. Yeah. So here's my love deposit. It's all a dream, bigger than profit. My shoulder codeine, you can lean off it. On my feet now, my self-esteem off it. Got some real love, boosting bones, good luck. Together getting close, I wanna hold you, not hold you back. Hold me against you, now shit is rap. Matter of fact, I'm catching a flashback. Every time you look back, I mean when I smash that. Birthday to birthday, you know you can't tell. She's a Mac, we're doing nothing to make her. I like comics, so what's the odds? You wanna go to gambling, charging cards, and knock my phone over. Cause my book is set, I stare into your eyes, and you just look away. I love you tomorrow, I love you today. Even if I borrow, some love got away. I love you tomorrow, I love you today. Even if I borrow, some love got away. it, but you never blow back. Never been a badass, make it cut cause I'm a battle axe. I'm a zodiac, no control and not holding back. A hope maniac, that can be a torture rack. A rhythm and nothing for every round of my match. Where you at? Heart like a power pack, a wind it back, stop and scratch. Yago radio's the app. Drop the combo to your cardiac. Only have baby screws, never betty safe. Put it on my nervy count. I don't mind stacks, the math like science class. Shut up, girl, listen like a wiretap. I'm bringing home some lilacs. Relax to the bed, do all that. Another day, another snap. Love come down to the roof, collapse. To the roof, collapse. I love you tomorrow. I love you today. Even if I borrow, some love got away. I love you tomorrow. I love you today. Even if I borrow, some love got away. Tomorrow, today, I'm here to pull out. I borrow, it's nothing new, no. Got away, yeah.
Oh, I'm back. Can y'all hear me now? Y'all can hear me okay, right? This is going to be a dandy. Give me 1 second. I'm setting something up. I'm actually setting up some audio right here, right quick. Hold on. Excuse me. Give me 1 second to setting something up because I'm about to go live on IG for this one. Everybody's going to find out why I was away. Appreciate y'all. Welcome back to the William Green Experience. Hello to everybody on IG. I actually wanted to go live on IG for this portion of the show because I believe this ties in to the whole idea about hurt people who hurt people. So, give me 1 second. I think I passed by the audio that I was going to use in a few more minutes. Got it. When I'm ready to set it up. Yeah, you're right. This is how I'm going to move forward because I'm just going to let you know something. There's some people that can move on from like a traumatic experience and just be done with it, but some people it takes them a little bit longer because it probably has never happened to them. Well, back in May 1st, this is when this all started. Because around May 1st, that was basically the same day that I went to my boy Migs to do the Corner Boy podcast. That was basically that morning, like like the wee hours of the morning. And then later on that day, I went to a friend of mine's baby shower. And when I got to Newark Penn Station, My ex, who I dated at the time, Danielle Jackson. Originally, I was gonna say her name on here, but being that she wants to put my name in shit, I gotta let this out. I gotta tell everybody about this. Well, let me give you guys an overview. Me and Danielle started dating in 2020, last year. We met in January, but I didn't meet her in person until February. So we started dating February of 2020. We was together for a few months, but she started to behave really weird. It's like like her behavior when it came to certain things and how she handled stuff was too immature for me. So me and her broke up. Now I was friends with her after that because I wanted us to I wanted to work on that part of that, but I feel like we couldn't. And we lived together for a few months, like during the lockdown. And I broke up with her because the way she acted, she was selfish when it came to a lot of things. Very selfish. So it was one of those things that I ended it because I'm not going to stay with somebody just because I think they look good, because not all about that. It's about your mental health too. And this is why this is why I try to tell other guys that I know that when it comes to dealing with people, you shouldn't lust over them. You should use your logic. Now, I won't be able to read the comments right away, so bear with me. I will have a little Q&A for anybody that wants to ask questions at the end, and I'll read them. So if you have a question, if you're on Instagram, you can drop it in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube or on StreamYards, y'all can drop it in the comment section because I want to just tell the story and I can just clear up everything at the end, anything that I may have missed. So, so yeah, that's the overview. That's basically what happened. And then, I went to see her in February because we talked on the phone about me going over here to visit her because she told me that she was going through some shit with her mother. So she needed some sort of moral support. So I told her that when I got the money, I would go over there because at the time she was staying with her mother at the Motel 6 in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So I went there. She said for whatever reason she couldn't meet me, and I just left it alone. And then she ended up blocking me on social media. So I'm like, wow, you blocked me? What? Like for what? So I left it alone. Then she reached back out to me on April 21st. And for about 2 weeks prior to what happened, what I'm going to get to next, she was telling me about things that happened. Like apparently in March, we didn't speak in March. So back in March, she proceeded to move in with her baby father, Sal Florentin, and the girlfriend that he cheated on her with. Her name is Stephanie. Because when I met Danielle, she had broke up with Sal. Well, Sal broke up with her, I should say, because he left her while she was pregnant to go cheat on her with the girl that lives in the house that she was living in. So she was living with both Sal and the girl that he cheated on her with, Stephanie. So all three of them was living together in the same house with her now one at the time she was when I met her, her child was 3 months old. She her child is about to be two. I'm not gonna even say her name, but her child's gonna be two soon. So yeah, they was all living in the house, and apparently she left her mother's house to go live there. So I'm like, Wow. Why would you do that? Makes no sense. That first of all, when she told me she had an idea to do that, I was like, wait a minute. That's going to take a toll on your mental health because I'm big on how like how things is going to affect you mentally as well as no mentally and emotionally. So she went to move back there. I'm like, that's crazy. I told her, why don't she just go into a shelter? Because that makes more sense. You go to a shelter, they'll help you, even though it might take a while. I don't know. Jersey is different from New York City. In fact, I told her to come to New York because they'll give her the help and services immediately because of her living situation. And then the fact that she's, a domestic violence victim, they will expedite the process. She'll be a high priority. But anywho, she moved back there. And for 2 weeks, she was telling me a lot of stuff. A lot. Give me 1 second. In fact, I'm going to show you guys some of the things that she wrote me on Facebook. I got receipts. I'm not just going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me get the gist of what's going on here. This is some of the stuff that she's been she's been writing me for basically the 2 weeks that we was talking to each other prior to her blocking me and then her coming back. Now I couldn't find the one particular one that I wanted to find. By the way, this is the girl right here. This is Stephanie. This is the girl that Sal cheated on Danielle with and moved into the house. So this is her right here. Now she's said a lot of shit, a lot of shit. Now let's go. Let's move forward to May 1st because that whole day, me and her was in communications because he hit me up when I got off the train and when I got off at Newark Penn Station when I got into a lift headed to my boy's house. This is one of the things that she sent me. She told me that man tried to hurt his girlfriend. In fact, she told me a few weeks prior to that they got into a scuffle and he choked her and they landed on her air mattress and popped it and wanted her to pay for it. Now that makes no sense, but that's not even the point. The point is she witnesses domestic violence at a place that she has a child at. And she's telling me all these things. She's putting it in writing. Everything she's telling me, she's put it in writing. She's told me this and it's on Facebook Messenger. So that's basically some of the stuff that she's been telling me. So let's fast forward to later on that night because we talked from we even videoed for like an hour while I was at the baby shower. So she again spoke to me on the ride home because I was on a platform and she hit me up again, headed home on a New Jersey Transit. So from that ride from Newark Penn Station up until the time I got home, which was 11:45 p.m. approximately, I hear him in the background saying, "Tell that person that you're on the phone with to hang up. That you'll talk to them later." And then after that, she tells me I'm gonna have to speak to you another time because I'm gonna get put out of here. Evidently, I guess he found out that it was me that she was talking to, or another guy at that point. So I'm like, I'm like lost. Like, what do you mean? So a few days later, I didn't hear back from her. Then on May 4th, 2021, I discovered that I've been blocked on Facebook. So I'm like, I'm confused. Like, why the fuck she blocked me? I didn't like. So I go to my boy Bean's house. I tell him about it because I was confused. Then he tells me, "Yo, I think he blocked you. I think he had her took her phone because in that conversation, she did tell me that he takes her phone and hides it from her. Like it was one time that this dude hid her phone for 2 hours. So I called. He picks up the phone. So I speak to him. I'm like, "Can I speak to Danielle?" He's like, like he was like, "She says she don't want to talk to you," and then tells me that he's the one that he told me that he asked her to block me when it was really him that did it himself. So me and him exchanged words. So I was concerned because I'm like, this doesn't seem right. So I had I had another my friend Jay. I had her call him, and he was trying to get loud with her, but she pushed back and ended up trying to put her on the phone, but was hanging over her while she was trying to speak to her, and she sounded scared as fuck. She sounded really scared. So um sorry about that. Somebody banging up top. Yeah, so she sounded scared. And she said that she was gonna hit Jay up after like when she gets to an appointment, but evidently she didn't make it there. And also she's told me things like they used to listen to her therapy sessions and stuff whenever she want to speak about the speak, at a therapy sessions. It's just a lot of stuff that she's told me. So she she told me that. Then prior to that, I'm sorry, not prior, but then like after that, I didn't speak. I didn't get to speak to her after that. I didn't know what happened to her because she told me what she's told me about this man, Sal Florentin. I'm gonna say his actual last name because I really don't care no more. Because you put my name in shit. Now I don't know if he put her up to it or whatever. I don't know. She ghosted me, so I can't really talk to her about it. So this is the only way that I can get it out. This is my way of putting this behind me because this is the first time I ever spoke about this publicly. So I'm doing it right now. So let's fast forward to May 5th. And by the way, this is Mr. Florentin. This is the one behind the bullshit that I went through in court. In fact, what she did because of this man, and this is my theory. This is what I believe happened. His abusive ass forced her ass, even though I can't really say forced her because what the hell is that man going to do to anybody? But he had her go to court to Union County Courthouse, Union County Municipal Court, to file a restraining order against me. And I didn't know I had this out on me because May 5th, the girl was watching, like his girlfriend was watching me the whole time I posted anything in my stories. Like Every time I posted in my story, she was watching. And I didn't go I didn't go to Jersey that day. I went to Bridgeport to see my friend Shaquille, who's in the comic section. I went to see her that day. So I didn't go to Jersey. In fact, I wanted to do that to keep my mind off the BS. So this is how I found out that I had a restraining order against me. I'm gonna play the video right now. Give me 1 second.
Kidnapping, but at least I'm not the one with the restraining order against them. You could say I'm an accessory to
Y'all hear
kidnapping,
this,
but
right?
at least I'm not the one with the restraining order against them.
All right.
You could say
Yeah. Because she was looking at my stories and she was talking all types of dumb shit. All types of dumb shit. Give me 1 second. Yeah, she was talking all types of shit, talking about um, the hell did she say? Oh, that she filed it like no, it's restraining order. So I'm like, and then I go online and I look it up, and I'm like, because like initially I'm like, I thought that they was trying to do this to try to scare me because I'm like, no, I went and looked it up, and I'm like, how can you file a restraining order against somebody that's not abusing you? Because usually that happens with people who are in a relationship or whatever, and they go through domestics and stuff, and the courts will, you know, give you a restraining order so you won't contact that person. In New York, I heard that, or in New York City, that if you go to court and put a restraining order on somebody, the judge would just actually grant it. But in New Jersey, it's a different process. So what she did was she went to Union County Courthouse, and on May 6th, 2021, I come home at 9:30 at night, and NYPD knocks on my door. The NYPD knocks on my door and gives me this. This is basically a temporary restraining order. Basically, they grant this to for an opportunity for me to go to court, and it goes to a pretrial thing because the first I made appearances 3 times. The first appearance, I didn't make that appearance because I didn't know that I had to call them first to let them know that they send me the Zoom thing because they told me that they was going to do it anyway, but they never did. So I ended up missing that date. So they gave me another one. They gave me another one for June 6th, which was a preliminary thing where the judge, myself, and Danielle will have to appear, and they'll go over the things, and they'll ask her, does she want to go through with a final restraining order? Now, a final restraining order, like basically with a final restraining order, what will happen next is not only will I wouldn't be able to contact her again, which I'll be okay with, but it's not just that. Ain't just as simple as that. I have to be fingerprinted. That's one thing. Second thing, I have to take anger management classes. And I gotta be fingerprinted by the state of New Jersey. And with that, I wouldn't be able to own a gun. Well, at least get a license in some states to own one. Because in some states you don't need a license to own a gun. And I guess in some states you have to be a felon for that to happen. But from what he told me, that was one of the that was a few things that I wouldn't be able to do. And for those who knows me, I'm trying to get a career in social work. So with that, I wouldn't be able to do that because it'll always come up in my background as me having a restraining order against somebody has a restraining order against me. So that can hurt me. It's kind of like having a felony on your record, so to speak, because it follows you for the rest of your life until that person goes to court and asks for you to lift it, asks as a court to lift the restraining order. So that's basically what I was facing. So I got served for one of these. Even the cops that brought it to my door looked at me like I was guilty. Ironically, I was going to go to the police. But let me read you guys the shit that I was accused of. She said that I came to her hotel room and March of 2021 and persuaded her to leave. I didn't see you in 2021, so how the fuck did I do that? She also accused me of breaking the door off the hinges. She accused me of making terroristic threats. She told me that I kicked her out. She was living with me. She told me that I kicked her out in the beginning of the pandemic. She said all these things about me. She accused me of a lot of things. Number one, I never kicked her out during the beginning of the pandemic. In fact, I never kicked her out in the first place. The agreement was for her to stay at my crib for a few months until I think her family or whatever had room for her to go. So that's what happened. I didn't kick her out. Now, could I have let her stay a little bit longer? Sure. But I didn't think that was best because I didn't like the way it was going. And I'm going to put my mental sanity before any woman or anybody. That's one thing. She said that I got into an argument and I grew into a rage and I ripped the door off the hinges. Now, I know what she's referring to. It wasn't a door. I didn't rip anything off the hinges. What happened was my door in my bedroom, um, for some reason, for a few months prior to even beating her, I think it broke. I think it was something wrong with it. I discovered there was something wrong with it back in 2019. The door itself, it's out the frame. That they need to fix the door. While I was like usually sometimes when I open my door, the door comes out the frame. So that morning, I know what morning she's talking about. It was the morning where I forgot what we was going to do in the morning, but I got up and she was still mad at me about an argument that I had a day prior. So she was like mad at me for that, and then I'm trying to ignore her, and then trying to exit my room to ignore her. I'll pull the door because to close my door, you have to pull it to you. So when I pulled it, the door came off the frame. So I had to kind of push it back so it can go into place because without that, the door is not going to close all the way. So that's what she's referring to, and that's what she put in this report to make it seem like I went into a rage, a hawk rage, and uh, hawk smash. No, it wasn't anything like that. And she said that I name called her. I never called her names. In fact, I tried my best to treat her like she was a person, unlike the bastard she was with prior. Sal Florence and that fucking. Oh, I'm trying not to cuss too much on here because I'm actually trying to tell the story. Don't say, no, bro. Don't say anything like that on here. I know that's what you want to do, but don't do that. I'm not going to even put it on the screen, but you know what I'm talking to. But yeah, I'm gonna get to the comments. I'm gonna get to all y'all questions. But so yeah, all these things she's accused me of, I didn't do. I didn't rip the door off the hinges. I never made any terroristic threats. I never did any of this shit that she's accusing me of. And I was so concerned that something happened to her that I reached out to her mother. And her mother basically told me that, she didn't know what she was and that she is a grown woman, which is fine, that she blocked me. And then she went on Instagram. Oh, this is like after that, like not the girlfriend, Stephanie, went on Instagram on some kidnapper vibes and told me that Danielle told me to call her and this will be my last chance. So I call her and she says, I don't want to talk to you anymore. But the way it sounded like it was forced. Because she kind of like hesitated before she said it, so it didn't sound like her. And then she's over here trying to call me a goofball, and all this other stuff. But you're the goofball. You're the one that's following behind a goofball. So that's basically everything she's accusing me of. That's on here. Yeah, yeah. Y'all can see, like, y'all can read it right now. I'm gonna leave it up for like a few seconds. This is basically what I was accused of. So I go to court and on June 16th. And while I'm in court, I have to face her. Well, not only the judge, I have to face her, and I have to face him in court because he went to court too. Like he was her witness in court. He tried to say that I went to Jersey to look for him. I didn't go anywhere near Jersey to look for that man. Because he said that I was gonna hurt him and the baby. Hurt him. I will never hurt a child. I actually love that child. I did. And I'm gonna let you know right now, I have no regrets about what I did for her. I don't. Because I did it out the kindness of my heart. So I have no regrets. In fact, a few months ago, I played some audio. I'm always gonna need you to help me with Tiffany. Yeah, these are the people that I was referring to and these set of videos that I put up back in August. I love Tiffany. I love you. But honest to goodness fact, it's literally like I'm here just so I'm not in the street, and I have enough. Yeah, that's him. That's one of that was the person that I feel conspired to take the try to get me in trouble. Now, her on the other hand, she couldn't be that scared because how can you sleep at night knowing you did this to somebody? You could have got this person in trouble. She could have got me in serious trouble. Like she could have got me in serious trouble. Like having like first of all, the person that really should be locked up is him because he's the one that actually put hands on her. I never put my hands on her. Never. So I just want to ask you something. I don't know if it'll ever get to you, Danielle Jackson. I hope it does, but I don't know if it will. because you blocked me on social media. Why didn't you take him to court? Or why didn't you call the police on him when he was beating you when he was beating your ass? Why didn't you take him to court when he was choking you? Why didn't you have him locked up? Why was it me? Why did I have to go through this shit? And then in the midst of that, the day I went to court, I found out during that court date that he's taking me to court on or he filed a citizen's complaint for harassment on me. First of all, I didn't harass him, but I didn't call him. I called her. I called my friend. I didn't call her. I didn't call him. So how the fuck did I harass you? You fat sloppy bastard. How did I harass you? So I went to court for that back on August 17th. He didn't show up to court. So I, they have to contact me again for a future date, but they haven't done it yet. But the case with me and Danielle was dismissed because he couldn't find any reason to grant a final restraining order. Because at the end of the day, in order for them to do that, that person has to be in fear for their life. And the judge figured out that she wasn't in fear for her life when it came to approaching me. In fact, what he said was he feels that he doesn't want her to speak with me. That's basically what this shit is. That's basically what he thought, and this is what I think too. But here's the problem, though. If you did all this stupid shit, how come you just can't talk to me and tell me what the fuck happened? Because I did try to reach out to her. Now, anybody want to call me a stalker or a crazy person? I honestly don't give a damn because that person put me through some shit. So naturally, I want to want some answers. So she ended up blocking me, but he ended up taking her phone. This is back when I guess she was still living there. He took her phone and wrote me. He like, dude, gonna ask me like, why are you so crazy about her and all this other dumb shit. And I'm like, dude, I'll see you in court. I don't want to talk to you, bro. So I ended up leaving it alone. Then about a few months, I think early August. Yeah, it was August. Well, I think August 14th. I reached out to her again from another account. And one of the things that stuck with me, she told me that actually I'm gonna read it verbatim. Actually, I can't because it's on my phone. But I'm gonna read it verbatim. Well, I'm gonna paraphrase it. Basically, she said that she thought that Sal was crazy, but the fact that I'm going through all this, it makes it seem like I can't eat or sleep without sweating this guy. And you had me, and you broke up with me twice for your personal reasons. Just move on. This shit is getting annoying as fuck. All right, I'm gonna respond to that one. First off, I didn't hit you up because I wanted you back. I hit you up because I want to know why the fuck you did what the fuck you did. That's why I hit you up. I want to know why you decided to go to court to accuse me of all those things that you put in that report. I want to know why you did it. Because I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of you or because you was forced to do it. Either way, I don't know. So that's why I was reached out to you. Now, I don't think I'll ever know. So I have to take that L. because I probably won't ever get answers from you. You probably never talk to me again about it. So at the end of the day, that's something I'm gonna have to just live with. You probably will never tell me why you did this shit. But still in all, that's the reason why I reached out to you. That's number one. And number two, how the fuck am I sweating him? That motherfucker is sweating me. That's the motherfucker that was so damn obsessed with you that he like you're scared of that motherfucker for what reason? I don't know. Because who the fuck could be scared of a psycho looking motherfucker like that? It's beyond me. Like, who the fuck is scared of this motherfucker? Who's scared of him? I'm not. When I met him, I wasn't fearful of me. In fact, he copped all kinds of pleas when I met him the first time. All kinds. All kinds of pleas. Oh, bitch ass. So, how the fuck am I sweating that man? That man is a major simp. Like, think about it. This dude is so obsessed with you that he wouldn't let you go home? Nope, that's not me. Nope, I'm never going out of my way to control anybody. Never. I've never been with anybody that I had to control. If I like he acts like that's her child and you don't want her to talk to nobody. I'm not talking about sweating. And then she mentions, oh, it's like you can't eat. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't eat. And you're right. I couldn't sleep. There was moments that I couldn't even wake up in the morning to eat breakfast because of this shit that you put me through. But you tell me that you're not selfish. As I can see, you're really selfish because you ain't give a damn about nobody but yourself. Instead of going to a fucking shelter and instead of you standing up to yourself and standing up to these fucking people, what you do, you let this dumb fuck talk you into going to court and basically filing a false police report on somebody who didn't even do shit. The only thing I'd ever try to do is help you. That's the only thing I ever try to do. I never tried to do anything else but help you. There was a time that you lacked a lot of confidence. I gave you words of encouragement. When nobody else did. But as somebody that's trying to that's trying to become a social worker, I try my best to understand it from that person's perspective and why people do things they do. Because it seems like you have a lot of issues that you need to iron out yourself. And at the time you was seeking therapy, but I don't think you took it seriously. Honestly, I don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing any of this stupid shit. You wouldn't let a dirt bomb nigga like this talk you into doing anything. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this rat looking bastard. In fact, you should have had him locked up. But you try to get me in trouble. But you couldn't have him locked up when he's the one that basically trapped you because he doesn't give a damn about you or his fucking child. The only thing he wanted from you is his nut because he can't go anywhere else to look for his nut. So if you're ever watching this, and I hope this gets to you someday, and I really hope it does get to you. I reached out to you just to get answers. But what do I expect for somebody who's, because I'm 33, she's 23. I have to put that in perspective also. And also, her mother didn't really give a fuck about her like that neither. The only thing she wanted was dick. She's worrying about the loser nigga that she dealt with in the '90s, and she's still trying to fuck with him now. And she doesn't want her to fucking son. So that's where she get it from. Jesus Christ. Like this shit is crazy. The only thing I did this show because this is an example of how somebody who's hurt want to put other people through their hurt and subject them to be to be hurt or being like at least a dumb shit like this. This shit could have been avoided if you could have just told me that you didn't want to speak to me no more. Instead, knowing that type of bitch dude that you're dealing with, I thought that he was actually doing something because I'm not going to just leave somebody out and dry because I'm worried about how somebody perceives me as being a simp. Fuck that. I know I'm not being a simp because I wasn't trying to win her over. It was me helping a friend. That's simply what I was trying to do. I had nothing but good intentions in mind when I made those calls because I did make calls, but I didn't call no 27 times. You dragged it. Ain't call no fucking 27 times. So I'm gonna read some comments here. One second. Yeah, she is scared, and I. You might be right about that, Susie, but I just don't get it. I don't think I'm anybody to be jealous of. But maybe she's jealous of the fact that I did have a social life when we met because she probably thought that I was one of these dudes that that was. I mean, at times I could be socially awkward, but I'm working on that. As you can see, I'm actually talking on this stream, so I'm trying to like brush that. But I wasn't the person to just um just stay at home. I'm an outgoing person. I travel. Stuff that she hasn't done, I've done millions of times before we even met. So that's probably you're like there's probably something to that. And yes, Shaquilla, she is spiteful and wrong because she did this shit to me, but she didn't do it to that bitch, that dude. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do any of that because the weird thing about this is, and this is what really pisses me off. I heard through a grapevine that Danielle is with a new person. Now, when I found out about this, I was like, and I won't even say his name on these airwaves because it's really not about him, but he's gonna have to find out the hard way, and or hopefully that relationship actually works out for them. But I don't know. Frankly, I really don't care. But I was trying to figure out why I felt the way about it. And I said to myself, I know it's not because of jealousy, because I moved on past that. Because I haven't communicated with her in a few months, so it's like it's not that. It's just the fact that you let this dumb motherfucker, and Stephanie is just as guilty too because she drove her to court to file disorder. So she's just as guilty too. She had her drive to court to accuse me of these things and to have the NYPD issue of a no restraining order notice to my house. So you ghost me, but you can move on with your life like you didn't try to fuck mine up. So that's what pisses me off about this whole thing is the fact that you did all this shit, all this. No problem because you're one of the people that's close to me that knew about this whole thing. So like I'll no, I'll give you a shout out because that's I did go to see you on May 5th when all this shit was happening, and I did that because I wanted to get my mind off the bullshit. Yeah, S- Stephanie and my boy Beans that you see on the screen got into a back and forth on IG. And in fact, she went back and forth with him as well as my other friend Jay. Yeah, you could pretty much say that she probably was jealous of that because I did have a lot of goals and I was a student when we was dating each other. Excuse me. Like I was a student, and also I had a lot of other goals too. Yeah, and it's like she didn't have anything going for her, and I was trying to like motivate her to doing that. Like I'm like like you're supposed to motivate the person that you're with to do better. Yeah, and yes, he was there. That's why I said these are the people that was around me when all this shit happened. A lot of people don't know, like a lot of like I gave everybody like a overview on Instagram, but this is what happened. She was scared of this dude. This dude even took me to court and didn't even show up to court. It was like one of those things. Well, she's out of my house, so it's no longer my problem. So it's like everybody gets to move on with their life, and I get to sit here and have this hanging over my head without an apology from any one of these fuck faces. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I try to be the best person. I know what value I bring to a relationship and or marriage and whatever. And what's sad is she's actually the first woman that actually thought about marrying. Yeah, honestly speaking, he's probably not, but he's gonna have to deal with that and deal with him because the thing is that man did a lot of really disrespectful shit while I was with her, but I chose not to engage with him because he's a little kid to me. Like he's a little kid to me. Like, dude, he tried to like use courts to try to get me locked up, but what he don't know is back when he had a 9 o'clock bedtime, I was going to school. I was in the criminal justice program at Evander Child's High School at EV. That's what I was doing when I was 16. So I've been like, if you find yourself going through some shit like this, make sure you have receipts because these this is everything that I was going to provide the courts. I printed it out because I didn't know exactly how it was going to work. Then they told me that I had to send everything electronically, so I did. I sent everything electronically, and this is how this dude was living too. Because when I met the dude again in June, because I went with her to Jersey to take her daughter to the doctor, and he was there along with her his Stephanie the Oompa Loompa, and this is how the crib was looking. Look at this shit. This is how the crib was looking. This is what he brought his daughter to. He brought his daughter to this for the weekend, but yet you try to get me locked up. You should have got his ass locked up. He's a slob. He's a walking dirt bomb. Oh, you're right, Ty. That dude does like she does steal energy. That's exactly what the fuck she did. Hey Samantha, I'm just going over the comments on Instagram that I didn't miss, that I didn't see. Yeah, Ty, that's the same girl. That's the that's the girl that I had in the recordings. This is basically exactly what the fuck happened. Read more comments. Yeah, yeah, it was like we went to me and Devon bought the when bought her daughter to him. This is the same day that I was accused of ripping the door off the hinges. That was the day that we brought their daughter to him because she she wasn't trying to let him see her, but I told her that she has to, because if she don't, then they can use that against her. Which I know they will, because at least they're that smart enough to know that they're gonna use whatever they can to their advantage. And the fact that she's keeping the girl from him, I told her that you have to let him see it. And plus, you talk about you want to break, so you should let him help out. So me and Beans went to Newark Penn Station, and when he was there, his tune changed because he was giving us all talking all this shit, talking about he gonna break my kneecaps and all this other shit, yada yada yada. But when he seen us, he had a different tone. That's exactly what happened too. That was actually that was the first. Well, if you want to count the times that I went back and forth, I seen him 3 times in my life. And one of the things that he used to do too is whenever those two would get into arguments, he used to call me to ask me to speak to her. And I'm like, she don't want to speak to you, and I'm not gonna force her to speak to you. It's like he'll do things like that, and then I'll be in a room on my computer, and he'll call on video talking about his dick is out, knowing that I'm there. He want me to say something. See, that's little stuff that he would do to try to piss me off, and I didn't let him win. I didn't give him the satisfaction. I'm not gonna engage with you because I already know what you're trying to do. Like if you have to call your baby mother on video ass naked to try to piss the other person that she's with off, then that says a lot about you. But before I go, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to me and for letting me tell my story on here. I really appreciate it. It's been months since I've been behind the microphone since this shit happened, and this is a step for me to move forward because I've been dealing with depression because of this shit. Things that I normally do, I just for whatever reason I couldn't do, and it's sad. And I hope this gets back to her. I really do, because I want her to know how I feel, since she's hiding from me, um since she don't want to admit that she's wrong, and she didn't and she never apologized. I want her to know how. I want her to know that this is out there. Like Sal Florentin, fuck you for what you did. Stephanie, you go fuck yourself for what you did. As far as Danielle, I'm gonna let you. I just want to like, before I go, I'll talk. I'm gonna talk to you, Miss Danielle Jackson. You once said that having a child has made you mature. Okay, let me ask you this: How is letting this man right here, this boy right here, how is you letting him bully you? How is that mature? How is that make you mature? How do you let him convince you to get somebody else in trouble to keep that person away from you when you could have simply told me that you didn't want to deal with me anymore? Instead of saying that you're gonna hit me up another time, but when it came down to it, you let him do this. So how is that mature? In fact, it doesn't make you mature, it just makes you immature and it makes you stupid. It's actually the dumbest thing that you can ever do. It's not mature at all. It's actually quite fucked up that you would do this to somebody. Knowing that you knowing that this person didn't do any of the stuff that you accused them of. How is that mature? How is that a mature move? In fact, that doesn't make you mature. It makes you selfish. It makes you real selfish. You don't give a fuck about nobody but yourself. You said that you wanna talk about how you love me. That's not love. What you did is not love. I don't know what you call it. I call it like some people might call it betrayal because it is betrayal technically because you betrayed me. You gave this man my address, and now he knew where I live, and I didn't know where the fuck he lived at the time. He knew my address. You gave him my you didn't give him my actual first name, but still, you told people that I did this, and I can only imagine the looks they gave you. Because when it comes to men being accused of domestic abuse, they're looked at as the guilty party. They don't give a fuck about if it's possible that they didn't do this, but they always look at the man as the guilty party. So the fact that you did all this shit and then you end up moving out and moving into your own place according to you, and you just moved on like you didn't do what you did to me and didn't apologize, that's actually the most selfish thing that you can do to somebody. And this is what creates people to do hateful shit to the next person. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use my platform to teach people to avoid shit like this and to try to do your best to avoid people like this. But it's kind of hard because people don't always show you their true colors until months or years down the line. Is that you get to see the true them. And maybe it'll be a day that I can actually talk to you and sit down and talk to you about this. But at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. And at this point, I got to move on. Just like you moved on, knowing that you tried to drag this person's name through the dirt in order to save your ass, is that's the most selfish thing you can do. and karma's gonna get you. But like I said, you're not a child didn't make you mature, bro. You're immature and you're selfish, and you're gonna reap what you sow, because what goes around comes around, and it comes back around tenfold. Now, hopefully, when you get older, you realize that what you did was fucked up. But until then, I wish you the best. But from the bottom of my heart, for what you did to me, fuck you.